Hi everyone, I'm Natasha and thanks so much for watching. And a double thank you to everyone who watched and liked or commented on my blog about last week's practice, a yin style practice for the hips and back. I really appreciate the great feedback. It let me know you like that style of practice. So this week's practice is another yin style sequence. Now don't worry if you did last week, you're not going to be bored by this one. It's an entirely new sequence. So new poses, different poses, still looking at the hips, but also at the chest and shoulders, very common problem areas for people here in the West. Now, if you're just getting started with yin yoga, they are the same poses, just approached a little bit differently. So instead of flowing from pose to pose with the breath, there are longer, more static holds. I like to think of yin yoga poses as a sort of meditation. So try to avoid, when possible, just sort of, fidgeting around while you're in the pose. But do feel free to readjust and sink deeper into the pose as needed. It is perfectly fine to move deeper into the pose as you become more relaxed, more open to the pose. So don't feel like you can't move at all. Now, to get started, let's just bring some awareness to the breath. So come to a comfortable seated position, whether that is cross-legged, up on a block, pillow, chair, whatever you would like. Bring your hands down to your lap and close your eyes. And take a minute just to breathe. As you breathe, try to notice whether your inhales are longer or shorter than your exhales. And gradually bring the two to meet so that your inhales and exhales become the same length. Try to focus your mind on the breath. Don't judge yourself if it wanders. Keep focused on the breath. You can count the breath. You can count them like this. 5 in, 5 out. 4 in, 4 out. 3 in, 3 out. 2 in, 2 out. 1 in, 1 out. Try to remember this calm, steady breathing and bring it with you into the practice. As we hold these poses, breathe into them. You should not feel pain, no sharp stabbing sensations. But wherever you feel warmth, tingling, stretching, comfortable sensations, breathe into them, releasing tension and allowing yourself to relax even deeper. So slowly open your eyes. We're going to get started here. Similar to a cobbler's pose, you're going to make a diamond shape with your knees, bringing your feet together, but instead of opening them out, just let your feet be together or naturally relax open a little. You may want to send your feet 18 inches, 2 feet away from you, and you're going to just melt forward. But don't worry about down. Sometimes I've seen people worry about down and they do this, trying to get their chest to the ground. Don't worry about that. Try to stretch through here and send your chest forward. Now you can always grab a block and rest your forehead on a block if you'd like. If there's a lot of tension in your legs, you can prop up your knees. But do try to allow for a comfortable amount of sensation. So find your edge and back off a tiny bit. You don't want to prop your knees all the way up here so that you don't feel anything at all. You don't want pain, but you do want some sensation. Relax into the pose. You can even send your arms underneath your legs, but if you do, be very careful not to pull on yourself. Just let yourself relax. Come slowly out of it. And now we're going to come on around onto the hands and knees. Don't worry too much about the hands though. Just trying to get your knees stacked under your hips, and we're going to come into puppy pose. Now you may want a pillow to pad your forehead as you reach forward with your arms, trying to keep your knees and hips stacked and reaching forward. Now you can either stay here, keeping your abdominals lightly engaged, or trying to relax through the legs. This is really great for getting into the chest and shoulders. Or if you're not feeling anything here, you can always come down into this variation of the pose. But this is a more intense variation. I recommend, if you are working with shoulder tightness, that you stay in the more active version here, keeping your abdominals engaged. Either way though, try to let your legs relax as much as possible. Press yourself back to an easy child's pose, sending the arms back behind you so that your hands are about in line with your feet, just to give your shoulders a break here for a moment. Just a quick break there, not a long hold. Come back on up to hands and knees, and now we're going to thread the needle. So, leaving your legs where they are, right hand where it is for the time being, you're going to send your left arm scooping under so that you are lying along the outside upper edge of your left arm and shoulder. And then here, you can either leave your hand here or bring it overhead and just relax, trying to keep your hips and knees fairly stacked and keeping any tension out of your legs and feet. Press yourself on up out of there, and then take it over to the other side. So left hand on the mat, right arm threading through, leaving the left hand where it is, or bringing it up overhead and melting into the pose. Alright, coming out of that, you can just lower down to your stomach. We're going to do a little bit more intense stretch for the chest and shoulders, but you can kind of control the level of intensity. If you have your arm out straight, it is less intense than if you bring it in at a 90-degree angle, so just play around with whatever works for you. You're going to take your left hand, move it roughly in line with your shoulder and about a foot or so out, and then roll over onto your side, pressing through the left hand. Now here, like I said, this can be a fairly intense stretch, so feel free to play with this positioning. This is a lot less intense than having the shoulder, the elbow bent. And you can also play around with your body position. If going all the way on the side is too much, just stay part way. Play with the feet to figure out where is going to work for you, helps you hold the pose, and then just settle into it. Go back to the center. And then the other side. So sending the left arm out, with right hand roughly in line with your chest to help you roll over. If one side feels very different from the other side, don't worry, that is completely normal. So don't stress about what it felt like on one side versus the other. Just work with your body, and whatever variation of pose works for you right now, this moment. And release. Now we're just going to roll over onto the back. And hug your knees into your chest. Grabbing on whatever's comfortable. That's fingertips, wrists, forearms, whatever it is. If you like, you can rock a little bit here. A little soft back massage. Nice. Open your feet up, trying to get your shins fairly perpendicular to the floor and your ankles over your knees, and then reach around and either grab the outside of your foot, or you can use your peace fingers to grab onto your big toe. And here, even though you are trying to stack your knees and your ankles, you're also trying to draw your sacrum towards the floor. So like being up here, so that you can try to get the chin vertical, isn't as helpful as it could be. So do also try to draw your sacrum towards the ground. Put your knees back into your chest for a moment and then drop them over to the left side. Now again, you can use a pillow or blocks to prop up your knees if you need to, because you are trying to keep your opposite shoulder down on the ground. And from here, you can bring this hand to rest on the legs to help hold them down, and bring your gaze over that opposite hand. Again, try to keep the shoulder on the mat. Release to your chest for just a moment and then drop them down to the other side. So knees forward over to the right hand on the left thigh, left arm extending out, gazing towards the left hand. Closing your eyes if you like. You're always welcome to close your eyes. And then rolling your legs back to center and extending them out. So you can come into Savasana. Take up as much space as you feel comfortable. Arms out, palms up, eyes closed, and relax completely. Keeping your eyes closed. Slowly roll over onto one side and draw your legs up like into a fetal position. Just here for a moment. And then gently press yourself up to seating. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this yin style practice. If you did, I greatly appreciate if you can take a moment to like, to leave a comment, and to subscribe. Subscribing is the best way to keep up to date with my weekly yoga videos. I also do meditation videos, and you can visit my blog, The Artisan Life, at www.natashalh.com. There I have great things like free Motivational Monday printables, printable gratitude journal, and a whole lot more. So I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you here again soon. Until next time, take care.